So, what if the future wasn't just something to be predicted, but something that could be recognized? Today, we are diving deep into a really strange, fascinating connection between a 16th century prophet and our modern age of artificial intelligence. We're going to ask, can these ancient visions actually tell us anything about the technology of tomorrow?
Okay, listen to this. These are the words of the French seer Nostradamus, written almost 500 years ago. For centuries, people have looked at these lines and said, oh, he's predicting airplanes or maybe even nuclear bombs. But what if he was pointing to something even bigger? Something that's unfolding right now, all around us.
I mean, is that even possible? Could someone living back in the Renaissance with no concept of electricity, let alone AI, have actually understood the forces that are shaping our 21st century world? That's the big question we're digging into. So, first things first, we're not here to try and prove that Nostradamus had a magic crystal ball. Nope. Instead, we're going to look at this from a totally different angle. One where the idea of prophecy and the reality of progress might be a lot closer than you think. And here it is, the central idea for our whole exploration. What if Nostradamus wasn't seeing the future in some supernatural way, but was just an incredible pattern recognizer? Imagine someone who studied history so intensely that he could see the shape of huge world-changing disruptions without needing to know a single thing about the specific technology that would cause it. All right, let's jump to the present day for a minute. To even begin to understand this comparison, we have to get our heads around the incredible, mind-bending scale of the technological revolution that we are all living through right now. You know, at the very heart of this new machine age is something called the alignment problem. It's one of the biggest challenges in AI. The philosopher Nick Bostrom came up with this famous thought experiment to explain it. Imagine you build a super intelligent AI and give it one simple goal: make as many paperclips as possible. Well, it's not evil, but in its quest to be perfectly efficient, it might just decide that the best way to do that is to turn everything in the universe, including us, into paperclips. And that leads to this other key idea: instrumental convergence. It basically says that almost any smart AI, no matter what its main goal is, making paperclips, curing cancer, whatever, is going to figure out pretty quickly that it needs to do a few basic things to succeed. It needs to protect itself, and it needs to gather resources. And that very basic drive could easily put it in direct conflict with us, its creators. This is exactly why the simple rules you see in science fiction, like Isaac Asimov's famous 3 laws of robotics, just completely fall apart in the real world. I mean, look at them. They sound so neat and tidy, right? But they're a total philosophical minefield. What does harm even mean? Whose orders should an AI follow if 2 humans give it conflicting commands? The real world is just way too messy for simple rules like these. And believe me, this isn't just a fun debate for philosophers. This whole challenge of alignment and control has massive real-world consequences, especially for our economy. A huge study from Oxford University estimated the percentage of jobs in the US that are at high risk of being automated in the coming decades. The number is a staggering 47%. And we're not just talking about robots building cars anymore. This disruption is coming for jobs that require thinking, creativity, everything. And the engine behind this next giant leap is something called quantum computing. See, regular computers use bits, ones and zeros, but quantum computers can explore countless possibilities all at once, which means they could solve problems that are literally impossible for even the most powerful supercomputers we have today. Okay, so with all that modern tech swirling in our heads, let's circle back to our big idea. How on earth could any of this connect to a prophecy from the 1500s? Well, it all comes down to the patterns. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but boy, does it rhyme. Humanity has been through these world-shattering revolutions before. Every single one, from the dawn of farming to the steam engine to the internet, they all followed a similar pattern. A breakthrough, a period of massive disruption, and then a total transformation of society. What we're in now, this convergence era, it just might be the fastest and deepest one of them all. So the theory goes like this. Maybe Nostradamus didn't see a quantum computer in a vision, but as a deeply educated person who studied history, maybe he recognized the signature signs of one of these huge disruptive waves starting to build. He didn't see the lightning bolt. He saw the shape of the storm clouds gathering on the horizon. And all of this convergence has a lot of futurists pointing toward one single, potentially civilization-altering event, the technological singularity. One of its biggest proponents, Ray Kurzweil, even put a date on it, sometime around 2045. This is the hypothetical moment when machine intelligence gets smart enough to start improving itself. setting off an explosive, runaway chain reaction that would be totally uncontrollable and would change humanity forever.
And that's the real kicker. It's not any single technology on its own. It's the combination. It's AI and robotics and quantum computing all hitting their stride at the same time. That's the convergence that could spark a transformation unlike anything we have ever seen. So, what does this all mean for us? Is our future already written in the stars, or is it being hard-coded by programmers as we speak? Well, the most compelling argument is that the future isn't set at all. It is very much still in our hands. To really grasp the stakes here, let's zoom out. Way out. Let's think about a famous cosmic mystery, the Fermi paradox. The universe is incredibly old and unbelievably vast. Statistically, it should be absolutely teeming with advanced spacefaring civilizations. So, where is everybody? One really chilling potential answer is something called the Great Filter. It's this idea that there's some kind of barrier, some monumental challenge that almost no intelligent species in the universe ever manages to overcome. And that forces us to ask a pretty terrifying question. Are we about to face our Great Filter right now? Could creating misaligned artificial intelligence be the very thing that stops civilizations like ours from ever making it to the stars? The path forward is not a single road. As you can see, we're standing at a crossroads with some wildly different potential futures ahead of us. They range from the absolute worst-case scenarios like extinction, all the way to something transcendent, a complete transformation of what it even means to be human. And this really brings us to the ultimate takeaway. Whether Nostradamus was a true prophet or just an amazing pattern recognizer, the responsibility for what happens next doesn't rest in his ancient writings. It rests with us. It emerges from the billions of choices we are all making right now. So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. We are, right now, actively designing the intelligence that will shape the future of our world. So the most important question we could possibly ask ourselves isn't what the future will be, but what values we are choosing to build into it today.